You're the one that threw a goddamn fit about the audio, Mark.
I did not. I said it was good.
Fit.
That's the only thing I have, guys. This is all I got is the audio part. So I gotta bitch about something.
I have been halfway joking about Mark, and it hurts, and it's a relief to hear you guys confirm what I've already known. Mark's the reason that this is not. Well, because he has the power. He can silence all of us.
Well, we're scared of him, and that's why it's coming out now, because I can't.
He cuts my stories all the time.
I can't live in fear anymore.
We read 10 stories a week, maybe 15. And what does Mark put out? 3, maybe 4?
I can't live in fear.
Ones.
I'm tired of... I'm scared. I walked out to my car. I went to check the mail, and there was a bullet in my mailbox. Just a single bullet. I'm not going to accuse anyone right now on a recorded format, but I know where it came from. I know what the message was. It was a message about silence.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mike, just to maybe, and I don't want to put you on the spot. I know this is hard for you to talk about this, especially now. Who here among us uses finger guns? You can say it. Go ahead.
Mark's the one that is,
That's right. Mm-hmm.
It's like the end of Taxi Driver. I look into my Zoom screen, and he's just a maniacal grin and finger guns to his head, and then he points it at the screen. And I don't know, and I know it's just me in my head, because there's the 3 other people that he could be pointing at, but he's pointing at somebody.
That's how that kind of intimidation works, Mike. This is what he does. This is who he is, and it is bullying. It is cruel. It is a power play, and I'm just going to say thank you for standing up and saying something, because he's a tyrant.
Well, as long as everyone acknowledges that I'm the most brave.
The most brave.
Welcome to INS, the International News Service, your source for the most important weird news from across the globe. With news analyst Kevin Harrison, actor, comedian, and musician Mike Wiebe, and professional commentator Brian Camp. INS, the news you need.
And I think if everyone were to just go tell one person, we're not asking for money, just go tell one person, just grab them by their stupid shoulders and shake them out of the world of shit that they live in. Just shake them and go, you need to listen to the INS, motherfucker. I think if everybody did that to one person, that that things would really start moving on this PCast.
We would at least double our numbers.
We need every listener to do that to one person once an hour for the next 6 months.
But just fun with the one. I don't want any, because at some point that would come off as a bit of a crime wave scenario. And
right.
A crime. Do you know what kind of publicity or what kind of listenership we would get from that publicity of inspiring a crime wave?
I mean, that is how Mark Marone got his start.
See?
What is the Patreon, Kevin? Tell us about it.
Can you tell me why it's called Patreon? Let's make sure people even know what this is. What does that word mean?
For a small monthly subscription, you get unfettered access to us, our lives, our talents.
But what I'm asking is, I like that we're doing this, Mark, because this is the kind of stuff people will get. Mike and I talking over each other.
Yeah. This is the kind of stuff Mark will just be like, this is completely unusable.
You will get so much garbage that Mark would have otherwise thrown out.
Oh, no, that's true.
Like, for instance, I have downloaded a soundboard, and I haven't uploaded anything. I just have what came on the soundboard, but I have stuff like this. Hold on. Well, it doesn't work. Never mind.
You will get at least 15 minutes of things to waste your time on other than doing something you don't want to do. I think that's fair.
You'll get soundboard things like this.
You've got mail.
Did y'all hear that? Like, just imagine how often you'll hear,
You've got mail.
like, the Patreon will help me afford to get more sounds on my soundboard, more sounds than...
You've got mail.
At this point, we're just stuck with...
You've got mail.
But maybe in the future, you'll be able to hear all kinds of things. You'll be able to hear, like, full circle. We'll do a whole thing for that. Maybe we'll do, something for callback. But as of now, it's just...
You've got mail.
That's right. Without your generous support, we will be relegated to only having you hear...
You've got mail.
Over and over again.
And wouldn't that make you feel...
Oh, I think we got a Patreon subscriber. Mike can afford a second sound.
We got a Patreon subscriber. Oh, that makes me feel.
Oh man, that's all we can afford.
That's all we can afford right now.
Right.
In this economy.
How many subscribers do we need to get a Mr. T, I Pity the Fool?
Let's set a goal right now. 10 subscribers, and we will get a Mr. T, I Pity the Fool on the soundboard, and it will get used. And every time it gets used, you'll know that it's your support that made that possible and made this podcast that much better, that made this podcast something more than a podcast that only has.
You've got mail.
That's right. I think we can all promise to use the I Pity the Fool sounder enough that one of us will yell, shut the fuck up to the other one.
It's going to cause anger and hurt someone's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that to look forward to as well.
That's the best kind of podcast drama.
For sure. That are accusing someone of stealing jokes.
Ooh.
Hey, we noticed that on your other podcast, Mike, sometimes you use jokes from this podcast, much like you've been stealing your own jokes.
Did I really?
Yeah, a couple times.
I don't have that many thoughts in my head, so that might be possible.
It's just whatever's rattling around in there.
You've got mail.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think without any further ado, we should start the podcast. Hold on, though. I need to get on the internet.
There is no way any of this is usable at all.
Okay, I think we're ready. We're ready to start.
Are we connected at 50K baud right now? Is that what's... That's good.
We're ready to start. We're ready to download nude pictures of Dana Plato.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome to the International News Service. We're your hosts. I'm Kevin Harrison, along with...
I am Brian Kemp.
And I'm Mike Wiebe. And over there in the audio jungle is Mark Ryan. How are you doing, Mark?
Pretty good. Mark sounds different to me.
Sounds different every week.
I don't understand what's...
That's because he's a master of vocal disguise.
It sounds like someone who is moderately strong punched you in the stomach right before you started talking.
That's what happened to Harry Houdini.
I don't think it was a moderately strong person. I think it was a very strong person.
If I punch somebody in the stomach, they're not talking at all. I'll tell you that.
We're already getting off to a wonderful start.
They're vomiting.
Have you ever hit anybody so hard that they vomited, Mike?
No, but one time I vomited and it made other people vomit.
No.
Because the smell was so strong.
Figuratively, a punch to the gut then, I think.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This is a real feat of strength. I got vaccinated recently, and I flexed during the vaccination, and it blew the syringe up, and the juice shot out on everyone, the vax juice, and all the glass in the syringe got in everyone's faces and shrapnel, and they had to call in some new nurses, and they had to they had to give me like a massage and do ASMR for me to not tense up while I was getting a needle. I was like, that's just how I am.
ASMR is an acronym I'm not familiar with. What is?
Yeah, ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response.
Yeah. And people do it for all sorts of stuff. Definitely pornography, but also not pornography. And it's people whispering. It's a lot of like girls whispering nice things. It's sometimes they'll have like eating. If people like it's supposed to be soothing sounds that are very quiet. I might be.
It causes you get tingly feelings and goosebumps.
Yeah, in like your head, in your scalp.
Your genitals.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like the genital thing. That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see ASMR JOI.
And what does the JOI stand for?
Something O instructions.
Something O instructions. I feel like that was one step too cryptic.
Jack off instructions.
Michael.
You begged me to say it all out loud, and then that's called entrapment.
No, I did not otherwise coax you to do something you would not have done on your own anyway.
Yeah, I think you would have done that on your own either way.
No.
That's not entrapment.
Can you explain to me what are the instructions? Is the idea that you have never done this act before, so you need instructions? Or is it you haven't done this act in a particular way, so you need instructions? Or that you haven't been instructed by another person to do this act, and that's the pleasure of the instructions? Where do the instructions come from? What's the end game with the JOI?
It's someone telling you what to do, and I think walking you through a scenario, an imaginary scenario. And
like what kind of scenario?
I don't know. Here's the thing is I'm not somebody that reads instructions or listens to instructions. Right. I act without thinking. I act on pure raw instinct, and my results speak for themselves. And if something doesn't work, I yell at it until it starts working. I've never had any issues with that. So I'm not going to listen to some gorgeous, busty woman dressed up like an anime character to tell me how to JO. I don't need her. I don't need her instructions. I have my own instructions. I've learned everything the hard way by,
Hey, that's me. Haha. All right.
Exactly.
Let me ask you, Mike, in your disdain for instructions, have you ever become so frustrated with the act that you've decided to yell at yourself? Like, have you ever been so...
I have before, and that's been the thing that worked. That's when I know it's like, okay, screaming. That's what I like.
That's right.
Me yelling. That's what is... That's my thing.
So can I get like a...
But I'm in the middle of No Nut November and April right now. So it's really just not an issue. I'm doing something called Abstination April, and I'm not doing ASMR JOIs all for April because and it's for COVID research. And I wanted to see if you guys would be down to do this. I know we talked about Patreon people, but we wanted to do a whole thing with our listeners where none of us JO. This ladies too. Ladies can JO too. Kevin,
I'm not a lady.
I know you're not, but you looked at me like, bleh. Nobody JO, and then we give all the proceeds. We get people to sponsor us, and we give all the proceeds to COVID.
We're finally going to solve this. Finally, somebody's going to do something about it.
Give it to the virus?
You know what? If they're not going to do it, we are.
That's a real can-do attitude.
If the government's not going to do anything about it, guess what? We are.
Do you think we could allow people to have access to maybe an ASMR of you screaming at your junk as you're confused by JOI? Like, is that...
Yeah.
Because I think people might get into that. That might be something that they... Or maybe just you giving your own instruction while screaming.
I feel like you would take pleasure from that.
I'm confused by this. I'm getting confused.
I think that me giving an ASMR that's just going like, simmer down. Chill out. Stop thinking. Uncomfortable. Sandpaper.
I think that's the opposite of what I was led to believe.
Baseball.
Oh.
That'll help. I'll do something to help them abstain for the month.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I get it.
That's what I'm saying. Right. I'll do my own ASMR to help them get through the rough part.
Right.
Just saying things that are real, like, just, to calm them and go. But I'll do it ASMR style, like Nancy Grace.
That's right.
Nancy Grace. Alex Jones. Alex Jones in the shower. Alex Jones with a sunburn working out. And then people are like, I don't need it. I'm okay.
Are you guys as relaxed as I am? I mean, wow, that's.
Well, you're relaxed, but you're also not wanting to JO.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's the goal, is to make people not want to JO. Nancy Grace and Alex Jones on the beach, getting a sunburn. They're both wearing flip-flops, and they're holding feet instead of holding hands.
This is starting to sound very particular to what might interfere with your ability.
No, it's gross. I'm not like the old fashioned thing is like, think about baseball. No, that's not good enough. Baseball's gotten very sexy. Yeah. Baseball's gotten I like baseball statistics, and then I think about Morgana, the kissing bandit, and how nice that would be.
There's a reference that no one is going to understand at all.
It's not.
It's funny. But.
Yeah, our Irish listeners are definitely not going to get that one.
I don't think anybody born after 1978 is going to get that one. I think
they're going to get curious though, and they're going to look up.
Morgana, 73 years old.
Good for her.
You guys, I'm thinking about Morgana right now. I might need some of my ASMR
and feet.
AA. Alex Jones rubbing sun cream lotion all over Nancy Grace's chest. All right, I'm back. I'm fine. I'm not getting...
So, Kevin, do you think
I'm able to focus.
Maybe we can steer this ship towards the news? Because, again, we have gotten a little off track, and I know that a lot of people from all over the world, literally 4 corners of the globe, are curious about what's happened.
Well, we're doing a special episode this week. In researching the weird news of the week, the best stories all dealt with animals. So we've got an animal themed episode this week.
Well, the only animal sound. Okay, wait.
No, we can't hear whatever you're playing.
Couldn't hear that.
For the listener, Mike is attempting to use his soundboard. Just make a whale sound, Mike, because we can't hear it.
Yeah, just. Oh well, it is a whale.
Somebody get my harpoon.
Oh yeah, now you need some AAJOI ASMR for Brian, because all he wants to do is kill whales.
I can't believe, since that whale story, I'm just disappointed in you, Brian.
Yeah, we all are.
I've seen the search for Spock. I know that whales are just fine in the future. So anyway.
So this first story comes to us from Consequence of Sound, which is a music news website. A lot of indie news on there.
Mm-hmm. Where's it based out of?
New York.
Okay.
A new metal band called Catera just released its debut single titled Hunger of the Beast. But this band is a little different than most. The singer is a former street cat named Rupe Shakir. Rupe Shakir belongs to the product manager of Fearless Records, who adopted the cat and felt it had just the right voice to front a metal band.
First of all, if all the stories this week are going to be this cute, I'm going to put rocks in my pockets and walk into the lake. Second of all, this is nothing new. This is not a new story. One of the most famous rappers of all time, MC Scat Cat. He rapped with Paula Abdul in the Opposites Attract song and video.
You fronted a band. Do you have any perspective on what it would take for this cat to front a band?
There's nothing new about this. Is not even that exciting. Cats, MC Scat Cat has been around. You've got Peter Criss. He's the kitty cat man.
Yeah, he is.
Plays drums for Kiss. And then on top of that, there's a whole movie about cats that can sing and dance. And the name of that movie is Cats.
Famously,
and there is this is what I want. I honestly don't give a fuck about this stupid Cats metal band. I hope it eats rat poison.
Damn.
No, whatever. I hope it's fine. I don't want any cats to die. I don't want any cats to die unless they're racist. And a lot of there's a big proportion of racist metal bands. Okay. But let me say this. There's a whole cut of the movie Cats purported to be real where they put buttholes on all of the cats. Now, my question is, do we see this cat's butthole in any of the press photos or videos?
Not that I've seen so far.
Then I am not interested.
I like to point out that I was lambasted by both Kevin and Mike for suggesting that harpooning a whale in the early 1900s, late 1800s was maybe not the worst thing. And Mike has just advocated for the painful murder of a beloved pet.
Well, whales can't be racist, okay? If you are picking on whales, then that you're picking on basically someone with body dysmorphia, with any type, they have body issues. They're plus-sized animals, and you're just, So I don't think that it's punching down, and I think that it's beneath you, Brian, as opposed to cats who are they get away with whatever they want. They live for free, they eat for free, they come and go as they please, they spray all over the walls, they poop in boxes, and we clean it up, and they watch us just clean it up. You know what kind of weird superiority complex they get from that sort of behavior? Not all of them, but a lot of them. And then you put in metal music. That's a heavy band. Guess what? Super racist. This ain't chocolate and peanut butter you're combining. You're combining acid and piss.
That's a terrible combination, Mike.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to drink it.
Yeah, but people do every day.
True. Hunter Biden on this week's Mark Maron with what the fuck with Mark Maron. He talks all about drinking piss.
Mm-hmm.
So, Catera isn't even the first animal-fronted metal band. Hatebeak is a death metal band fronted by a parrot, while Caninus was a death grind band featuring 2 pit bull terriers.
Well, I'm into Caninus. I gotta admit, Caninus is...
Right.
And then Hatebeak, gotta admit, it's a pretty funny name, and would piss the guys off in that band Hatebreed too. I think that they would be quite humorless about that.
Yeah, I think that you're probably right.
I feel like Pantera probably enjoys Catera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pantera is like, right on, brothers.
I can play the song if you want to hear it, but
I do want to hear it. You know what? Maybe I've overstepped my thoughts. Maybe I'll hear this.
Let's play that here, and then I'll read the last little bit here. So,
I don't think you've overstepped. I'm just going to go out on a limb, much like a cat would, and say this is not going to be.
And then the firemen will have to come get you.
That's what. I don't think that's ever happened anywhere.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a good sample.
Yeah, that's not
okay.
It's not very good. Is that okay to say? I mean, it's not.
You ever have to take a cat somewhere, like to the vet or something, and you put it in the cat carrier, and the whole time, the whole trip, it's just like, ow, 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 and then you realize the cat's been quiet, and you've been listening to Led Zeppelin the whole time.
That'll show them.
Yeah, I put them in their place.
Nobody's going to respect them anymore.
It's about time somebody sent them up.
Yeah.
Good job.
Catera's debut single can be found at bandcamp.com, and all the proceeds will go to Whiskers A Go-Go, the Brooklyn-based nonprofit cat rescue group responsible for helping Rupe Shakir find a home.
I'm sure that a Brooklyn nonprofit that helps cats is really hurting for money right now.
An animal nonprofit.
People want to give money to me. It's a for-profit Xbox fund.
I thought it was a PlayStation 5 fund.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm waiting for them to court me.
You're the customer.
I've got a huge platform here. I've got thousands of people not J-O-ing for an entire month based off my words.
J-O, maybe. J-O?
Either way, I have the power with my own words to stop people from their own inhibitions or ambitions. Whatever means doing the nasty to yourself. I have that power. And I think that that's something that the Sony Corporation and the Microsoft Corporation would like to get a little piece of. So I expect both of them to send me their consoles, or at least one of them. It's really a race.
Well,
it's a race to see who's going to curry favor with me and who's going to have the no-nutting of thousands of people. Guess what you need if you're trying to sell video games is people who don't like to nut.
In the console wars, whoever wins, we lose. So
guess yeah. It doesn't matter who wins.
Yep.
We lose.
Yep.
But I'll just say I had a Nintendo before I had a Sega.
I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what...
I'm telling you, Sega went under because I told people not to buy them,
right,
because they didn't send me a CD system with Night Trap on it.
Night Trap with Dana Plato. I thought Sega was the more adult console, though. Didn't they sell themselves as the sexually experienced brother?
Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog came off as a more erotic, I guess. Right. It was the more erotic of the side scroller
right
platform games.
Right. I mean, yeah, the Nintendo was for the sexually undeveloped, and Sega again was with games like,
I mean, we were sexually undeveloped while we were playing it, so it's hard to.
Noel, speak for yourself.
Which one had Karnov?
That was original Nintendo.
Oh well, then that makes Nintendo the sexiest one then.
Mm-hmm.
That game was
because the shirtless guy's breathing fire.
Yeah,
he's climbing up that ladder. Yeah, he's got strong calves climbing up those ladders.
Oh yeah.
He could jump pretty high.
He got a well-turned calf.
Yeah, a couple ham hocks.
Oh, real ham hocks on that circus freak
flexing.
Was he a circus guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
he's a circus guy. Circus came into town, probably romanced a rich lady.
Name somebody who breathes fire who's not in a circus.
Karnov. Wait, no, he's in a circus. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's kind of in a circus, isn't he? Isn't being a yogi like being in the circus?
This is dealing with cultural issues that are far beyond me.
No, I don't think it is like being in a circus.
Well, but like doing like feats of strength and stuff.
He does seem like he does seem like he performs Dalasim.
Yeah, like they levitate and stuff. They demonstrate the product of their spiritual enlightenment, perhaps.
Oh, maybe. So their spiritual enlightenment is a show for you.
No, but they're out on the streets performing, and they expect tips.
Right. If I go to a revival, then I might put money when they pass a hat around because of the skillful preaching of the guy in the tent. I don't know. I think
we all got scared. We
got scared, and I think the immediate turn away from Catera demonstrates maybe what we thought of Catera.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, I need a Karnov ASMR or a cat bearing his own shit ASMR. That would be soothing. That sound with just like a lusty voice saying, "You're gonna clean this up. You're gonna clean all this shit up. Your eyes are gonna water while you do it. It's gonna smell terrible. You're going to question whether you inhaled something that gives you schizophrenia. Several hardened pieces of shit at the bottom of this, and you won't know how long it's been there. You're going to feel like an old miner who got really unlucky. You're going to question what it would taste like to eat one of these pieces of cat shit."
Well, I think it's time for our next story.
I do too.
I am so relaxed right now.
I am too. Mm-hmm. I feel really ready for this.
Yeah.
So our next story is from the New York Times. A 34-year-old geologist from Perth, Australia, was on vacation with his wife and 2-year-old daughter in the southwestern Australian town of Dunsborough when he was attacked by what he described as the angriest octopus. He first noticed the octopus in some sort of staring match with the seagull, but when he got closer, that's what it said. It said they were sizing each other up.
I'm just everything about this is pissing me off. All right, keep going.
He first noticed the octopus in some sort of staring match with the seagull, but when he got closer, the octopus swam towards him and struck a tentacle at the man, to which he responded, "Oh, golly." And that's how he responded. I'm going to play it for you now. Hopefully it works.
Are you going to play him saying, "Oh, golly"?
Oh, I'm going to play the whole clip he recorded, but it will include him saying, "Oh, golly."
Is that how does he say it? I want to compare what you're saying to what we're going to hear. One more time.
This is an Australian man. He's saying, "Oh, golly."
It sounds like a very staid sexual experience.
He said he had his 2-year-old daughter in his hand in one arm, and he didn't want to swear in front of her.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully, let's see if this works.
For the listener, they're saying octopus.
You hear that wind?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, golly.
I mean,
I'd have knocked the shit out of that octopus.
Well,
You ever seen the Robert Altman Popeye movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd have punched that fucker so far.
Mm-hmm.
You don't listen. I do not suffer octopuses lightly. If seriously, just don't even fucking look at me. The thing you guys need to know about me, I don't play. Okay. I don't play. So if a fucking octopus ever were to roll up to me and pull some, you're not going to hear some, "Oh golly, oh golly." No, you're going to get your fucking beak shoved halfway up your weird fucking mushroom head.
Is it octopi? Do you say octopi?
Well, technically, it's octopod, but we're just going to say octopus.
Like
octopuses.
whales. Ugh.
If you had been that guy, you would have had a second chance, because this was not the end of the encounter. About 20 minutes later, the man went swimming, and when he got about 100 feet from shore, he found a neatly piled stack of crab shells under the water. He dove down to take a closer look when he felt a sharp pain, first in his arm and then across his neck and his lower back. Following the attack, the man was in shock, but he made it back to shore, covered in clearly visible red marks where he believes he had been whipped by the octopus. He described the whipping sensation like being hit by a wet towel, and the stinging of the red marks was alleviated when his wife poured cola over them.
Oh, I'm just audibly sighing at my disdain for this man. Continue.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
For this geologist? An octopus researcher from the University of Oregon suggested the second attack may have come from a jellyfish, since octopuses, or octopods, don't have venom in their tentacles, and the venom in their bites wouldn't be alleviated by cola.
Thank you, American scientist, for clearing this up.
Yeah. It's exactly what happened. An American had to step in and figure out. They say this guy does not. I mean, Australians are usually a bit of a tougher lot than this guy. I mean, this guy,
right.
This guy deserves to get his ass handed to him by a 3-foot octopus with skinny little tentacled arms.
So, nevertheless, the man plans to go back to the same beach and swim in the same water.
Yep. And you know what's going to happen? The octopus come down and pull down his pants and laugh at his penis. And if you've never heard an octopus laugh underwater, that's exactly what's going to happen. I guarantee it. And his response again will be, "Oh, golly."
He said, "I'm a little bit nervous. Octopuses are potentially being given a negative connotation, and people should give some love to these beautiful creatures and not treat them with disdain. Oh, golly.
Nobody is giving the octopuses a negative connotation. They are giving you a negative connotation. We don't like you. We are on the octopus's side. That being said, if any octopus wants to fuck with me, you'll get your fucking tentacle handed to you. But no, we think you're the pussy. We think the octopus is the cool one. Honestly, I would probably hang out with this octopus. I think we would get along fine. I think that octopus and I would go kick it at a minor league baseball game and drink ourselves silly.
Right.
Aren't they always drinking since they live in the water?
I mean, that's not how gills work.
That's not how gills work.
Octopus have gills? What do they have?
I don't think they have gills.
I don't think they're always drinking.
I'm not going to take an octopus to a baseball game. Okay, that's not going to happen. But if we lived in a world where it's a Aquaman scenario where I could go down there, or it's some sort of Dr. Dolittle scenario where they can suddenly breathe underwater, or they made a crazy fucking opposite scuba diving outfit for octopuses, and they could come up with, I think we would have a good time. Do I think that's going to happen? No, probably not.
It would be a spacesuit for an octopus, right?
8 space arms.
Do they need the water to do stuff? I feel like I've seen video of octopuses like on the shore, kind of like
they'll sometimes they'll come out and do stuff and then go back in the water. But I think, like the way we might go and swim in the water for a while, get attacked by an octopus, and then retreat to the shore.
He didn't get attacked by the octopus.
No, he got attacked by a jellyfish. Isn't Australia the home of every horrible, venomous, stinging thing in the world anyway?
Everything in Australia will kill you.
Yeah, especially Rebel Wilson. She'll fucking murder you.
I am not surprised to hear that.
I actually really like Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, she's funny.
That on there.
Right.
She's a national treasure.
A gem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our next story comes to us from Newsweek. The title is Officers Discover Emotional Support Python During DUI Stop. Police in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, were performing a DUI stop recently when they encountered an unusual rider in the passenger seat. A python.
Wait, was it a snake or was it one of my fucking arms?
In this case, it was a snake.
Okay. I'm glad I swore on that line. That needed the word fuck in it. I think we can all agree.
You spend a lot of time on the musculature of your arms, so I think you're entitled when people might be besmirching or talking about them without your arms or your permission. So,
do pythons often get hit in a door, and they're just sitting on a passenger seat, and you got to run along with the car till it stops or gets pulled over?
All I know is if you try and stick with my python with the vaccine, it's going to break that goddamn syringe.
It's going to blow it up in their faces, right?
Yep. And then I flex even harder and it shoots the needle out. You better be out of what I call the splash zone.
Remember, no JO.
No GI. That's,
The driver reportedly told officers that the snake was his emotional support animal. Photos taken on the scene apparently show the snake's head reaching towards the glove compartment, and later, a police officer holding the snake on the side of the road. The website emotionalsupportanimalco.com says snakes are common emotional support animals because they're easy to care for, hypoallergenic, quiet, and their tendency to wrap or coil themselves around people can feel extremely comforting, almost like a hug. Now, I can't find a source that says whether the man was charged with a DUI or not, or whether the python smothered and consumed anyone on the scene.
Well, I will say this. I think it's dumb. I do not think that a snake can be an emotional support animal. I will say that a snake can be a personality support animal, because that is the only reason people own those things.
Right.
It's because they don't have a personality and they need a thing they need something, and this is their shot in the dark.
Snakes are for people who can't care for a ferret.
Yeah. Snakes are a Fedora that you have to feed.
Well, I think we solved this one.
Yeah, I think so. This fella, he took his snake to the bar. That's what happened.
I think that's exactly what happened.
Exactly. And whether he was drinking or not, he should be in jail that night. He should have been taken to jail. Have to post. I'm not saying he needs to like stay in prison or anything like that, but no, for the night, he should be taken to jail. Whether or not you're allowed to take a snake into the bar, I'm sure you are allowed to take a snake into the bar. Mm-hmm. But for his crimes against humanity, and the crime is not that he took the snake out, it's that he's that insufferable.
Right. How many times do you think he enjoyed telling people that he couldn't stay very long that night because he had his python in the car?
Yeah.
I think he had his python on his person.
I bet he brought it into the bar.
Yeah.
Right. No, he goes in without the python, says he has to go, and says, "What? You know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I can bring the python in. Do you think that'd be okay?" And then he gets the big extra show of returning with the python.
Yeah.
Well, no. See, they in the story they said part of the reason people like snakes is because you can transport them and nobody will know that they're there.
No, again, nobody likes snakes. People just like the idea of having something interesting about them.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I like snakes as much as anybody else watching on a nature show and stuff. Sure, snakes are awesome. I don't hate snakes. I'm not Indiana Jones.
Speaking of fedoras, right?
Yeah, he's the only guy that. Well, he hated snakes, but had a fedora.
Wow.
That says something. I don't know if we know what right now.
I don't know what. Yeah, we'll have to think about that. That's going to take some time and reflection, which I'll probably get because I'm not JNO this month. I'll set aside some time.
Right.
I'll set aside some of that time for that.
Mm-hmm. So, Kevin, I'm wondering if in this article they discuss at all the problem Florida's having with pythons as an invasive species in their swamps.
Well, they said that was another reason why they thought that he might have had a python, is because they're so common in the wild that you could just find a baby python and be like, "Hey, I'm a heat source," and they're just like, "Okay, I'll hang out with you, whatever."
Hey, I'm a heat source.
Yeah, that's how snakes see us.
That's how I approached my wife. Hey, I saw you standing there. I want to let you know I'm a heat source.
Are you married to a python? Yes or no?
No.
Is she cold-blooded?
She's what you call a battle axe.
Yeah, what happens when you take her to the bar? Do you make her stay in the car until you go in for a little while and go, "Hey, is it okay if I bring my wife
I don't need anything to make me interesting at the bar. I've got my spin kicks."
Right.
I've got capoeira to practice.
Mike just shows up in a gi, and that's his.
Yeah.
I don't have time to change. I don't even want to be late.
Oh yeah. I guess I am still wearing this.
Sorry, I came from street fighting. I didn't realize.
It was slow kick tonight, and boy, I'm sore.
Yeah. Oh, I have to put on shoes. Well, you know what? Actually, that's a good thing because I'm actually less deadly with shoes on, and I don't want anyone to get hurt.
Mm-hmm. And the ladies' hearts melt.
Ooh, he's fascinating.
That's right.
Then I go out to my car, put on my shoes, come back in with my snake and a fedora.
Right.
Can I get a Jaeger bomb?
Right.
This is a good Jaeger bomb. They make really good Jaeger bombs here.
It's Tom working bar. He makes the best.
Tom
Jaeger
working bar.
bombs.
He makes my favorite Jaeger bombs. He does them special for me.
That's right.
Adds more bomb in them. I'm so happy we're almost, that we're approaching. We're getting vaccinated. I'll be able to hang out with that guy
Casanova Frankenstein
really soon with Casanova Frankenstein at a bar.
Yep.
Ankle length duster on. Ooh, what you got? An ankle length duster and you've somehow taped a wall poster of Akira to your back. Okay. With safety pins. The extended universe Star Wars novels are better than the movies.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe Disney threw out so many of those books from the canon. That is, and then just start listing them off. The entire General something series is. I don't know enough about it, but clearly there's 40 or 50 books that are no longer part of the expanded Star Wars universe, if there is such a thing, and that's very disappointing.
Yes. The Chewbacca Files. Chewbacca, rogue agent.
I would, you know what? I could get into a Tom Clancy style Star Wars story.
Well, I was thinking the Chewbacca Files are sort of like the Rockford Files, but it's Chewbacca, and he's just this kind of like washed up guy that lives on a fucking space mobile home by a space beach.
Right.
Woo, 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 woo. Opens up with an answer machine of like, hey Chewbacca, it's your old pal Freddy Two Bones over on the Despero system. Got a real problem here. We could really use your help on. Just Chewbacca is like all hungover, like waking up next to the bed. No, not a line in subtitles either. Lots of dialogue, no subtitles whatsoever.
That'd be something to see.
You know, us real S-dub fans have learned, you know, pretty much know how Wookiees is spoken. I can't speak it. I can't say it, but I can hear it and I can understand it, just like Han Solo.
That's quite a claim.
I can speak most of the Star Wars tongue.
Wait, right? What about Klingon? I know that's not Star Wars.
I'm not a fucking nerd.
I know you can speak Jawa. We've heard that, I believe.
Oh, have I spoken Jawa? Yeah, I can speak Jawa too.
A little bit. Very good job. That is.
Wow. It's like watching the movie.
I think you were saying something about droids. I'm not sure.
It's like watching the movie, and it's actually better than watching those last three.
Yeah. Is it okay to not like those last three? I feel like that's supposed to mean something.
Man,
about
they're
you.
fucking awful.
They're not that great.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not good. I mean, they're not good, but you can not like them, but also not get online and attack women based around your dislike of them.
Wait a minute. You can do that?
You cannot enjoy those movies, but also not be violently misogynistic and racist about it. And it's weird that the two have somehow intermingled in a way that fantasy film criticism hadn't been until the advent of the internet.
Who knew the existence of women ruined Star Wars? Who knew?
Exactly.
Well, our last story comes to us from the Anchorage Daily News, the largest newspaper in Alaska.
Oh, yeah. So
what are you doing? What are you doing here, Kevin?
What do you mean?
What are you trying to do? Where are you going with this?
Reading the news?
Yeah, Kevin, you're on your own here.
You're picking some scabs right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking some scabs of some wounds that aren't healed. You know, when you pick a story like that, you're essentially an effete Australian, and I'm a goddamn octopus.
Well, there's two sides to this story.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll give it up. Hopefully, I'm hoping the animals win.
Let's just see where you end up on.
Okay, all right.
You know, who's right and who's wrong in this little treatise I'm about to read.
Okay,
I'm not sure, Kevin, but I'm fairly confident that no matter what happens in this story, Mike will find fault with the citizens of Anchorage. I'm not sure, but I think that's what's about to happen.
A Costco in Anchorage, Alaska is apparently besieged by sneaky ravens who snatch items from shopping carts. One couple got home from shopping and realized they were missing one filet mignon from a 4-pack. It was then that the husband mentioned that he'd seen a raven in the parking lot with a steak in his mouth. Another shopper reported buckling her baby in a car seat when a raven swooped in and swiped an entire package of short ribs from her cart. And then the same thing happened to her again months later when two ravens teamed up to steal a package of pork ribs. A third shopper said she had one raven hopping from her car to a nearby truck bed while squawking at her as a distraction while another raven sat on the ground trying to pull mini melons out of her bag that was in her cart. Finally, a shopper who had a single short rib stolen from one of his packages, commented, "They know what they're doing. It's not their first time. They're very fat. So I think they've got a whole system here." Anyway, Costco management has declined to comment on the parking lot Raven theft issue.
All right.
Well, first of all, I have to say that's so Raven. That is so Raven. I think that the headline of this article should have been "Heroic Ravens Take Deserved Food from Rednecks in Feral Country."
Well, how feral can it be? They have a Costco.
Well, I've never been to Costco, so first I'm going to need a little talk through on what a Costco is like.
I'll tell you, it's a giant shopping club that sells a little bit of everything, typically under, if possible, their own brand, Kirkland. It is one of the worst places to go I can think of. It is full of just nonsense people buying nonsense amounts of nonsense things, and then you wait in a ridiculously long line to purchase those nonsense things, and then you go home and you tell people how you went to Costco.
No, that sounds like a great place to get filet mignon from.
A 4-pack.
A 4-pack, right.
I feel, okay, this is going to get cut out, so it doesn't matter, because it's kind of visual. But
it might be in there now. Anytime you announce something's getting taken out, that's kind of a
we're going to force it to get in.
God damn it.
Let's go.
So every time I'm in a Costco, this is how it goes. There's somebody pushing a cart straight at me, but looking in the opposite direction, like they've got their head turned as far as they can turn their head while pushing a cart just straight in my direction. And I feel like everybody shopping there is a serial killer whose process of killing is to run over people with a shopping cart while pretending to look in another direction. And I'm not saying this happens once or twice. It's every 3 fucking steps.
Right.
Now in Alaska, I think the same thing probably happens, but it's people with snow sleds and dogs.
I don't think there's snow in the store.
No, I do. I think they're so goddamn stupid up there. They forgot to put a ceiling up.
Forgot to put the roof on. Those stupid Alaskans. I found it fascinating that I'm to believe that someone saw a raven with a steak in its mouth, or its beak rather, and didn't think to mention it till later on. Like if I was anywhere with anyone and I saw a bird with a hunk of red meat, like a large hunk of red meat in its mouth, I would immediately turn to the person I'm with and say, "Holy
look at that.
Yeah, that bird's got a bunch of meat in its mouth." Because that's not something you see every day.
Well, the problem was that they also had a huge chunk of uncooked filet mignon in their mouth because they're goddamn savages up there.
They forgot to cook it.
They didn't. They don't know what cooking is. They don't know what cooking is up there.
They're eating raw meat.
Yeah, they just eat raw meat, and you know what? Their stomachs are still of a throwback era of a Precambrian type time.
Just to recap, then, Mike, it sounds like what you're telling us is that Alaskans are lower on the evolutionary ladder.
Yeah, they're just out there, just like the birds. They're scurrying around a Costco parking lot looking for gravel to shove in their gullets so they can actually process any of the food.
A good bird fact.
I don't even know if Alaskans have separate holes to pee and poop out of. They might have cloaca too.
Cloaca. Brian was correct on the pronunciation.
Well. Thank you, Kevin, for that. And I appreciate your call back, Mike, to cloaca.
Clay Aiken.
To Clay Aiken.
And I also looked up octopuses breathe through gills.
Okay, then.
They inhale through gills, but they exhale through like a tube.
A tube? Like a snorkel?
Yeah, like a snork. Remember the snorks?
I do remember the snorks.
Ooh, do you remember their song?
It was Come On Baby Light My Fire.
There's no fire underwater.
It was the Doors. I was thinking of the Doors.
That's right. I wasn't asking you their favorite song.
Was Ray Manzarek in the Snorks?
He was.
Briefly, they kicked him out.
That's right.
Alaska, the smartest creatures in Alaska are probably the ravens, I'm going to guess. Ravens are supposed to be very smart, and I would love to have a pet raven. I think that would be super cool, but not one that comes inside. I don't know. I don't like the idea of having animals make fecae in my house.
When you say come. Is this in a JOI way?
No.
Oh, Kevin, come on.
God, that's just.
Let's,
What are you, an Alaskan? That's Alaskan kind of talk.
Yeah, let's have some dignity for
The
good listeners of the International News Service.
The INS news team.
I think that's mostly me, actually, the team.
Well, that may be the case, but I still think,
Well, it doesn't
Out there collecting stories, summarizing them.
We're interpreting them. We're explaining them.
we're providing expert
No,
news analysis,
I'm explaining them. You guys are just asking, commentating.
analyzing, investigating.
I'm investigating. It's my job.
Oh, Mike has done quite a bit of detective work on these stories.
I've done some detective. I've solved a number of these.
I think earlier we solved the Python incident, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very close to figuring out that the issue with the Ravens is that the Alaskans never did anything to designate the store as a human-only area by failing to put a roof on said store.
Yeah.
Which, according to Mike, is a very common issue for Alaskans that they just...
It happens over and over again. Some of them figure it out, probably by accident.
Right.
How do you figure out a roof by accident?
They find themselves in a cave and just sit and think about it for a while. Like, why am I dry?
Yeah.
And they just have to think about it.
Then they get murdered by a grizzly bear.
There's someone in perhaps Fairbanks or on Kodiak Island.
Is there anywhere in Alaska not named after a bear?
Denali?
That's a truck. It's named after a truck that's named after a bear.
Okay. Mount McKinley, formerly known as Mount
They
McKinley.
don't call it Mount McKinley at all anymore, do they?
Denali is not just a river in Egypt. Kevin.
Well, I think that wraps up another week of the International News Service. Hey, check out our Patreon. You can find it
When animals attack.
You can find it at patreon.com/international newspod. And I think that wraps up another week. Oh, and email us at internationalnewspod@gmail.com if you have any stories that you'd like to see featured on the episode.